WITD, the one and only podcast by a blind wrestling fan. Hey up, guys. Heavy spoiler warning: if you haven't watched the NXT Cruiserweight title match at Worlds Collide and you don't want to know the result, you should maybe come back to this video once you've done that. But for now, anyone who's sticking with me, how fun was this match? I find it hard to say that it was the match of the night because Worlds Collide was a night full of really, really good matches. Did I love it all? No. But at the same time, I thought that it was really, really good. And this match in particular was a lot of fun. It was punchy, it's fast-paced, back and forth. Each guy gets a time to shine and show themselves off, and it felt like any of them could really win. And I think Angel Gaza gets the worst end of the stick here with hitting his finisher later on in the match, but still ended up losing. However, the Fatal 4-Way rules just sort of protect him. I still think that he could have done with maybe defending it once or twice before they did this, but I understand why. If this is going to be a franchise that they're kicking off, if this is something that they're planning on doing once a year, a few times a year, they want to set the precedent for big things can happen. So I thought that was a really good decision. If you're going to switch one of the titles, why not do it with the Cruiserweight title? And I've really enjoyed the Cruiserweight division since it's been under the NXT banner. Granted, not quite enough to go watch 205 on a regular basis, but when they have these Cruiserweight title matches on NXT, the Leo Rush, Drew Gulak one, the Angel Gaza versus Leo Rush one, that was really good. So I've just been getting really into it, and I was excited for this match, especially with the competitors that you've got. So it's Angel Gaza defending against Swerve Strickland, Jordan Devlin and Travis Banks, who was probably the one that I was the least into. I do find Travis Banks just a little bit, I guess, with not being able to see him and not getting a full grasp of his character, I find him a little bit too similar to Finn Balor with those sling blades and the double stomps, etc., overhead kicks. I just feel like he sort of has a similar moveset, so I'm just not as into him because it's like, okay, I've just watched a Finn Balor match and now you're hitting double stomps. And I know that Finn Balor isn't the only person to hit double stomps, but when it's like overhead kick into a double stomp and then like follows it up with a sling blade somewhere, it's like, okay, I feel like you're just wrestling the same as Finn. Well, let's actually get into the what happened in this match. Something I noticed in the early moments, or as they were doing the championship introductions, was everyone seemed to be behind Angel Gaza. By far, he got the biggest reaction out of those championship introductions. The bell goes, Jordan goes for the Devlin side early, doesn't get that. What he does get is a middle rope moonsault that takes out two of the other guys. Swerve gets him with a flatliner and goes for a dropkick on someone else, but Travis Banks manages to get him with an overhead kick and a double stomp. Again, that's when I was like, Balor, are you back? Why are you here? You just had a match. Banks starts firing up, he's popping off vicious sounding shots, trying to take everyone out. He hits a sort of cannonball thing. I don't think Nigel was quite sure what to call it, but he said it was close to a cannonball, taking out Gaza and Swerve. He goes after Devlin, drives him into the corner, and this is where it's really useful having Nigel McGuinness on commentary. So I came into this thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be really great, the matches are all going to be brilliant, and it's going to be really entertaining to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing how Morrow calls all of this. Get into it, and it's Tom Phillips, and I'm like, oh, why? And like I said, this is where you really do need Nigel McGuinness on commentary if you're going to have Tom Phillips. So, after Banks has driven Devlin into the corner, Devlin manages to get a DDT. And that's what Tom calls it at first. He calls it a magnificent DDT that he follows up with a flatliner. I didn't know until Nigel said that it was a tornado DDT, which does make a difference in terms of, if you just say DDT, I'm probably going to picture, for the most part, it being in the centre of the ring or in the ring, unless that it gets said that it's on the apron, etc., etc. Then Gaza comes in, he starts taking everyone out, he rips off his trousers, and then we get this confusing spot that Tom just butchers in terms of calling it. Well, luckily Nigel clears up the confusion, saying that Swerve hits an offensive move, and Gaza manages to get the cover from that. And I was just like, I'm so glad that we've got McGuinness on commentary here to like clear up Tom's spillages. Swerve rocks Gaza with a big shot. Gaza goes down to one knee. Swerve thinks about the house call, but Devlin attacks him. Banks almost gets hit with a suplex, but he manages to counter that with a destroyer. The crowd chants, "This is awesome," but he just can't get the cover. Devlin takes out Gaza and Swerve from the top rope, but Banks comes in, hits a slice of heaven and a Kiwi crusher, but Devlin kicks out of that. Banks and Swerve go one-on-one in the ring. Swerve hits something that Nigel says is like a Rubik's Cube, which I'm not particularly sure what that is. I've never heard of a Rubik's Cube before. Banks kicks out of that one. Gaza comes in, he hits a dropkick and a Rana, gets the wing clipper, but Devlin comes in, hits a headbutt, gets the Devil inside, and he picks up the Cruiserweight Championship. Post-match, Devlin gets on the mic, cuts a quick promo where he's like, "Do you believe me now? I told you not so long ago I'm pound for pound the best sports entertainer on the planet, and tonight I proved what I've been telling you all along, you'd never bet against the ace." And one thing that I will say is the crowd was totally happy with Devlin winning. There was no boos, it was just like an acceptance. Everyone was really happy about it, and I actually think that Devlin is quite over, which is not a surprise actually. I was going to say it's surprising, but after that bout that he had with Tyler Bate the other week, I actually think that his stock has been raised quite a bit, and now with him winning this, it should be interesting to see him popping up on NXT, see what he does with the belt in NXT UK. I really like the fluidity that we're now getting between these NXT universes with the Cruiserweight, NXT UK and NXT, where someone can win and start appearing on multiple shows. I assume now Devlin will be on 205 NXT and NXT UK, appearing with that Cruiserweight title. So I thought that this was a really, really good match. It was full of spots. Everyone got a time to shine. And I just thought it was one of the most fun matches of the night. Was it the best? Probably not. No, it probably wasn't. But at the same time, Phillips did an alright job, considering that there was only 2 bits where Nigel had to clean up one of his spillages, which usually, if you know me, you know that I cannot stand Tom Phillips' commentary. So it was nice to see him doing a decent job, and nice to just have this next chapter in the Cruiserweight title storyline. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that, but I'd give it a solid 5+. I thought it was a strong match. I can't give it a 6 out of 6, but I will give it the 5+, because I thought that it was just a lot of fun. Let me know what you thought of this match in the comments section and on Twitter at Mason_WITD. And if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to subscribe, click that like button, and come back for more Wrestling in the Dark. But for now, I'm off, and you should have a good one.